everything is bigger in Texas. So I was able to provide you a video about our vacation to Texas and some great trademarks there. Check out this hat, manufactured by RESISTOL. The registration for men's hats goes back to 1935 with the first use in 1930. Check out the box that it comes with. Nice branding on there, RESISTOL with cowboy on there. When in Texas, we had to stop at Buc-ee's on the way to and from Waco. We picked up some snacks and this patriotic-themed Buc-ee stuffy. But did you know that Buc-ee's has an audio trademark registration for fresh brisket on the board?
You already know about Buc-ee's great branding. The Buc-ee's in Hillsboro, Texas had this great barbecue sauce water tower. You've probably heard of the brisket, the beaver buddies, the beaver nuggets, the glazed pecans, wall of jerky, overbites, beaver bucks, and the patriotic merch. But did you know that this is a registered trademark? Yes, Buc-ee's owns a registered trademark for the Century Mark Fresh Brisket on the Board chant with changes in pitch and an inflection like all aboard.
While in Waco, we checked out the Dr. Pepper Museum that was a lot of fun. We picked up some of these classic plastic red cups with unique branding on them. We also participated in the Make a Soda Experience. Learn what the numbers 10, 2, and 4 mean in this next segment.
The Dr. Pepper Museum in Waco, Texas is a must visit, especially if you're already checking out the Magnolia shop at the silos. Our visit was timely since Dr. Pepper just became the number 2 pop, knocking Pepsi down to number 3. Don't miss out on the Make a Soda Experience. I made one with Dr. Pepper base, pineapple, and cherry. I stirred the flavor, added it to the carbonation, and tasted it while wearing the spiffy soda jerk hat that they give you. Dr. Pepper has a history of great trademarks with different iterations of the name in different scripts, some with periods after the doctor and some without. You can see some of the classic advertising in the museum, including references to 10, 2, and 4, which means those are the times of day you are supposed to drink Dr. Pepper, which I didn't know before. You could even watch old commercials in the Lights, Camera, Fizz section. Don't forget to get your Dr. Pepper float at the end.
While in Waco, we also visited the Magnolia shops at the silos, which had a bunch of great trademarks as well. You could get some coffee at Magnolia Press, a cold beverage at Pop's Lemonade, and some very delicious cupcakes at Silo Baking Company. A few blocks over, you can get an exotic burger and pickle bar at the Twisted Root Burger Company. We also visited the best Maid PIckle Emporium in Fort Worth. One of the tchotchkes I picked up was this Texas-shaped dog toy that contains a couple registered trademarks. Watch this video for more about this shop.
In Fort Worth, Texas, you will find the best Maid PIckle Emporium. This store has almost everything pickle related. They have pickle chips, pickle cotton candy, pickle cups, pickle hats, pickle shirts, pickle peanuts, pickle lollipops, pickle lunch boxes, pickle dog leashes, collars and bandanas, and yes, pickles. I love dad jokes, and the best item in this store had to be the pickleball paddles. They have some fun trademarks too, including the stylized Best Maid going back to 1931, as well as the face of a young girl named Smiley. This logo has gone through several iterations, and this version is a registered trademark issued in 2005. Likewise, the label has gone through many styles, and the yellow, red, and green variety is a registered trademark.
I bet you're dying to know, did I try the pickle cotton candy? Yes, I did, and here is a trademark taste test.
Best Maid PIckle Emporium Pickle Cotton Candy. Tastes like some moldy, burnt skunk. I don't taste pickle in that at all, but it's definitely not a sweet treat. That's F minus. That's terrible.
That may have been one of my worst trademark taste tests ever, maybe even worse than the Peeps Pepsi. Moving on to the Crayola Experience. I created my own huge purple crayon, and of course I named it Trademarks Are Fun Purple. This item has at least 5 trademarks. Can you identify them all?
We discovered the Crayola Experience in Plano, Texas. Here you could find an entire wall of crayons. They also had the Colors of the World skin tone crayons. Crayola has several registered trademarks for its colors like Purple Mountain's Majesty, Tickle Me Pink, Asparagus, and Wisteria. Laser Lemon is also a registered trademark, and I got to specifically wrap this crayon with hashtag trademark on it inside the experience. But many of the less creative and merely descriptive colors that are not unique names failed to register as trademarks. This jumbo crayon has several trademarks on it as well. The squiggly lines are a registered trademark. Crayola is a word mark. The Crayola smile is another registered trademark. Also, the green edges on the box are a registered trademark. And Crayola has one more trademark that will hit you right in the nose. The entire Crayola experience smelled like Crayola crayons. In 2018, Crayola filed an application for a scent reminiscent of a slightly earthy soap with pungent leather-like clay undertones. That mark got published for opposition in April of 2024 after much fighting, so they should receive a registration soon.
Got this design here, that logo there, Crayola, the wavy lines and the scent, and I should have pointed out that Trademarks Are Fun is a registered trademark as well. We participated in a food tour in deep Ellum. You can find some eclectic trademarks here, such as Pecan Lodge and Slutty Vegan. One of our stops was at Rocket Fizz, a registered trademark. They had a ton of different soda flavors such as buffalo wing, mustard, cucumber, blackberry pie, to name a few. I came across a Bazooka flavored pop, and I had to try it, and this is my next trademark taste test. I love Bazooka gum. The only problem with Bazooka gum is it only lasts about 5 seconds. But I found the soda, new Bazooka bubblegum flavor soda. So let's see, or pop, where I'm from, we call it pop. But let's give this a taste, see what this tastes like. All right. It's actually not bad. It tastes just like Bazooka. And the flavor lasts longer than the gum itself. But it does still have that weird cardboard aftertaste. Not bad, I'll give it a B+. Spending some time in Frisco, this red Frisco badge was on many signs and a water tower. For some reason, the registration is for Railway Transportation Services. We didn't make it to the local museum, but we did go to an FC Dallas game and the National Soccer Hall of Fame.
Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas, where FC Dallas plays, hosts the National Soccer Hall of Fame. You can see the Hall of Fame from the stadium itself. The facade of the building is also really cool and has a statue called The Kick, inspired by Pele's bicycle kick, in front of it. Both the wordmark for National Soccer Hall of Fame and the nifty logo are registered trademarks. The museum itself had lots of other intellectual property like trophies and scarves that contain logos for teams that are registered trademarks. Although we were in Texas, I always have to say, go Crew.
We also rented a Mach E. I've always wanted to test drive one, so I thought this would be a fun opportunity to drive one. We couldn't pass up an opportunity to eat at Ford's Garage. They had some great branding, such as the gas pump door handles, hose clamp napkin rings, and burger buns that were literally branded. We also saw a lot of these T signs, which is a registered trademark owned by the North Texas Tollway Authority. Here are some of my thoughts about the Mach E.
We rented a Shelby GT Mach E on our last vacation. The vehicle itself was a fun drive. I liked how Mustang silhouettes were projected on the ground. There was a toggle switch that would allow you to make it sound like a revving engine, which was really fun. The name of the Mach E is a fun trademark story. Apparently, Elon Musk wanted to use Model E for Tesla so he could have models SEX spelling sex. Ford said it would sue if they used Model E because it sounds too much like Model T, so Musk went with Model 3. Charging the Mach E was not as easy as charging a Tesla with the supercharging network. Take a look at how huge this charger is. In a week, I downloaded 5 different apps so that I could charge. And although the charging was labeled fast, it was actually quite slow. The touchscreen was also very slow, and the menus were not at all intuitive. There was no functionality to allow me to map out where I could charge and for how long, like with Tesla superchargers. For an entire week, driving all over Dallas-Fort Worth area, I never once got to use the hands-free feature. All in all, a fun drive, but I'd choose Model Y any day.
There are many other great trademarks around, but I'd be remiss not to mention one more. Taco Cabana was involved in a seminal Supreme Court case about trade dress. Taco Cabana had described the trade dress as, quote, a festive eating atmosphere having interior dining and patio areas decorated with artifacts, bright colors, paintings, and murals. The patio includes interior and exterior areas, with the interior patio capable of being sealed off from the outside patio by overhead garage doors. The stepped exterior of the building is a festive and vivid color scheme using top border paint and neon stripes. Bright awnings and umbrellas continue the theme. 2 Pesos started opening restaurants with similar concepts, and Taco Cabana sued them. Taco Cabana had survey evidence and won the trial. The Supreme Court held that trade dress could be protected if it was inherently distinctive. In other words, 2 Pesos infringed. Taco Cabana eventually bought out 2 Pesos and still exists. It probably doesn't look exactly the same today as it did in the 80s and 90s, but it still has a partially indoor and partially outdoor patio. So many restaurants have this concept nowadays that it makes me wonder whether it's gone the way of Taco Tuesday. Anyway, don't mess with Texas because trademarks are fun.